I do think most importantly is you need to spend time studying and learning how humans acquire skill. What ends up happening in today a lot is coaches just teach what they were taught. This is what I did on my championship team. This is what I did to become a good shooter, which isn't wrong. Maybe your method was actually really good. And that's not bad, but that's also not critically thinking about, each player's individual differences, but also understanding, is there a better way?
And finally, can you share any advice or words of wisdom for aspiring coaches in the basketball world, or maybe some young people that want to be like you as a skills development coach?
Yeah. First and foremost, don't try to be somebody else. I think when you're young and you're coming up in this game, you look up to this trainer on YouTube or Instagram, or this person who has this following, and it's very easy to try to shape your behavior to be exactly like this person, or to think, if I get that, then I'll be happy. But each coach, each person is their own individual with their unique characteristics, and I think it's most important to know who you are and understand, like, be authentic to yourself. Don't try to be someone else or try to be someone else's brand. So that is like maybe a general piece of advice. Within basketball, I would say understand the game deeply as you possibly can. Offense, defense, and then understanding the physical, technical, tactical, and psychological factors of basketball, right? Understanding that each of those elements are very important in basketball, and how they work how they synergize with each other, right? So that's physical, is how fast you are, how high you can jump, your body, all those things, the physical portion of basketball. Technical, the dribbling, the shooting, passing, the skills of it. Tactical, understanding spacing, where to be on the court, how to make reads. And then the psychological, right? The mental aspect of being able to handle pressure, being a good leader, all those things. So as a skills trainer, I think it's very important that you understand probably tactical is the most important for you, but then the physical and psychological, having at least somewhat of an understanding in that category. And then I do think most importantly is you need to spend time studying and learning how humans acquire skill, right? How skill development actually happens across all humans, and learning how humans learn, I think is a very fundamental, I think is a very critical portion. Instead of being, I think what ends up happening in today a lot is coaches just teach what they were taught. This is what I did on my championship team. This is what I did to become a good shooter, which isn't wrong. Maybe your method was actually really good. And that's not bad, but that's also not critically thinking about, each player's individual differences, but also understanding, is there a better way? Is there a better way? That's kind of what I'm always thinking about. Is there a more effective way? Is there a more efficient way? Can I make this better, right? And always like staying hungry and not like being so obsessed with the kind of always like the results, but kind of like what you said, being obsessive about the process, right? What is the process that's going to ultimately lead to the results that we want? So that would be, general advice that I would give to, any upcoming trainer.
Okay.